The new DLC for Horizon Forbidden West is here, and it's pretty awesome. I really enjoyed my time with it, and it seems like it shapes the future of the Horizon franchise. It's been over a year since we last saw our friend Aloy, but for her, it's been no time at all. This game picks up immediately after the main story of the base game, with Aloy, preparing to eventually stop Nemesis. So if you haven't finished it yet and you want to play this, that is something you've got to finish first in order to get started. Also, it is worth mentioning that this is only available for PS5, so if you got a PS4, unfortunately, you cannot play it. But if you do have one and have roll credits on the main story, you will get a call from Silence, which opens up a new questline automatically. He tells you to meet him and then proceeds to debrief you on what to do, sending you to the burning shores formerly known as Los Angeles. There, you will meet a new central character, Seika, a marine from the Quen tribe. She becomes your companion for the majority of the DLC and plays an integral part in it. In this DLC, you will find that there are a good number of new things, from weapons to new resources, new outfits, and new machines. Though I will say some of it is derivative of each other, but I think that's totally fine. I wouldn't really say I was really expecting to see a whole new slew of enemies and weapons anyway, but from actually new additions, they've added some geysers for you to glide on, and ballistas for you to climb on in one particular section. Neither of these are anything particularly interesting, but they sure make you go, oh cool, and that's it. But maybe that's just a teaser for something more elaborate in Horizon 3, one can hope. From weapons, you can expect a new legendary weapon that you acquire as you play, and towards the end, if you complete one of the side quests, you can even upgrade it. This weapon is one I rarely used, but was particularly useful against flying machines like Sunwings. There is also a new bow with a matching armor set, the Black Tide Sharpshot bow, and the Black Tide Quen Commander outfit, that is unfortunately locked behind a pre-order bonus. I read somewhere that you actually can still get it, but it essentially costs fewer shards if you got the pre-order. But not to worry, you're not missing much because while I like the outfit and wore it throughout my playthrough, I ended up not using the bow as much as a number of arrows that you can craft, at least initially, are very little. And I opted to use one of my other bows instead that were fully upgraded and that I was already used to. And of course, while it does not look the same and provides different stats, you are at least handed another legendary outfit after completing a relatively early side quest. I believe you can also apply the dye to it and any Quen armor as well. But if you do have the Commander outfit and you want to upgrade it, you will need this new resource called Brimshine. It can be traded or used on certain outfits or weapons. There are some machines that would occasionally prove more difficult than some others that you've encountered before, however some of that difficulty I think may stem from sheer rustiness. I know I definitely was towards the beginning, and even though I had warmed up a bit before starting, I think I could have used a bit more. So I would strongly recommend that you warm up a bit before getting started if you hadn't played the base game in over a year since its release. In fact, Guerrilla themselves even put out a video on it. Now beyond that, there are some bigger machines, and bigger machines, at least in this case, sometimes means bigger boss fights, and there are quite a few here and there, especially at the end. I feel like this was bigger than anything that we've seen before, and it was a ton of fun. Also, side tangent, unlike many other DLCs out there, you are fully free to explore and roam to your heart's content. The DLC area is sectioned off, but it doesn't lock you out of the main map area, so you can travel back to it anytime you want, as long as you're not in the middle of an active quest, of course. Personally, I didn't even try it myself because I was so immersed in the main questline and didn't really have a reason to go back, and probably neither will you. But it is a nice option in case you do have to for some reason. Now you're probably wondering how this stacks up against Horizon's previous DLC that we saw in Horizon Zero Dawn. Let's just say that Burning Shores holds more value and adds more to the series than Frozen Wilds did. I enjoyed my time with Frozen Wilds, but that really felt a lot more like a super long side quest than anything else, whereas in Burning Shores, it actually feels like a proper DLC, one that advances the franchise in some way. I would almost equate it to what Assassin's Creed Brotherhood was to Assassin's Creed 2, or what Hearts of Stone or Blood and Wine were to Witcher 3. Of course, I wouldn't say that it's quite there in scope, but what I mean is that in the way that it's its own isolated story that doesn't feel like one that you would just stumble upon, if that makes sense. It isn't bloated with a number of side quests, and the bulk of it is simply the main story. While some of you may feel like the story here is kinda tacked on, which I think I would agree with to an extent, it provides greater character development, especially for Aloy. And I know that Aloy is probably the most well developed, as she should be, she is the main protagonist after all. It was nice to see another side of her, and that was actually one of the main aspects that weighed down Zero Dawn for me. Yes, again, Aloy was developed, but many of the supporting characters' development felt undercooked. Thankfully, that was reversed in this game. In Zero Dawn, it was all about her being on her own and doing things independently. But in Forbidden West, she learns to open up more, and that it is okay to accept the help of others. And here, that character journey continues. The development is not just for Aloy's sake though either. As I mentioned, Seika plays a big role in this, and while I did not have any particular feelings about her character one way or another, it is clear that you can expect her to return in the future. Or at least I would hope so, because otherwise, what was the point? Another character that I think this was supposed to help develop was Silence. But unfortunately, that will no longer be the case, as voice actor Lance Reddick passed away last month. But it was nice seeing Lance one final time. He was a phenomenal actor and will be missed. I'm not sure if this counts as a spoiler, so I'll try to dance around it, but there is another actor who does appear and is quite recognizable. They really give it their all and really steal the show every time they appear on screen. And given their performance, I really wish that they were given more screen time. I think that would have elevated this DLC quite a bit. And if you're wondering who it is, here's a hint. They were in another Sony property before this. That's all I'll say. Burning Shores is an awesome DLC that will run you about 8 hours, or probably around 15 if you're a completionist, so that's around the same length as Frozen Wilds. It is around $20 USD, or 27 Canadian, which I believe is around the same price as the Yuffie DLC that was released for Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade. That was also a PS5 exclusive, and that was only 3 to 4 hours, so the length of Burning Shores and the content within it definitely fits the value. Overall, Horizon Forbidden West Burning Shores is a must-play for fans of the franchise, and may position directly where it's headed next. On that note, if you like this review, please leave a thumbs up, as that really helps the growth of this channel, and check out this playlist right here for more reviews. And until next time, I'll see you soon.